In smaller brands, especially when you're talking like more on the food and beverage side, if you're talking about natural products, part of their proposition is has to do with sustainability, for sure, or with good ingredients, with something that's good for the earth, especially with packaging, for example.
What do you think has been your recipe to revenue? What's one piece of advice that you would give those listening? Welcome back to Recipe to Revenue. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of corporate innovation and venture building. I am here today with our guest, Daniel Lauri, who has led brand strategies at powerhouse companies like PepsiCo, Nestlé, Coca-Cola, and now he is helping transform breakthrough ideas into real businesses as the venture lead for Pilot Lite. Daniel, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Leo.
Yeah, Thank you. I am so excited to hear today about your journey. You've had such an interesting career path that has led you to your position today, working with some of the biggest names in CPG. So what has pulled you in this direction of venture building? How did you end up here at Pilot Life?
So first of all, I have, like you said, a strong classical CPG background. Started working for Coca-Cola in marketing and then in the strategy side or the business side. And then I moved into dairy, and then I moved into Pepsi, where I spent 9 years in different marketing, strategy, business development roles and regionally. After doing that for more than 15 years, I kind of needed a time to regroup, to do something else, to get into new things. And so I had a couple of business ideas, and I went for it. One of them was getting into e-commerce, where I started from really scratch an Amazon business that then afterwards I sold, and I operated everything overseas. And I started doing consulting, and I started loving consulting. Consulting is a way of you get into different business problems that are obviously difficult to solve, because if not, nobody should.
Then they wouldn't need you.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Yeah. So, and it's so diverse that it's very interesting. And I started working with different teams, and then a couple of years ago, I joined Pilot Lite, which is a global consulting firm that we specialize in de-risking or decreasing the risk of innovation. Pretty much that's our core business, and that's what we do with the big CPG companies, like the top ones. And we go in, and when they have an idea of an innovation, we do whatever it takes for them to know what are going to be the risks, or what are going to be the next steps in order for them to do it. And we do it in a special way, because what we do is, obviously, we have our team of experts, but also we have people on the ground. So if you want to do it anywhere, we're going to put a team on there that they know their stuff, and they're going to execute it. And that way, you're going to have a good roadmap.
Yeah. It's all about having a solid roadmap to get to that success point, right? Without that, and your knowledge. Yeah. Tell us about any stories that you can share of a win that you're really proud of as a client you've worked with that just has just taken your advice and done really well with it.
It's one of the big CPGs, and we started with a contract that was only 3 months long, and it was a sustainability project, but that it really had also a business side and a big potential upside on the business. And with information, it was an Internet of Things project. So it was, and we started working with them and learning from scratch. We had different partners. We had the IT partners. We had people that delivered the kind of this special product that they need to put on the ground, and we were the ones operating that. And it was a very interesting learning curve, because we talk with the client, like, I can say sometimes on an everyday basis. So we were part of the team. So we're really executing the stuff and adjusting and following the recommendations. And what happened was that the project started 3 months, then it moved to another 3, another 6, another almost a year and a half, and then we expanded to other markets.
Yeah, excellent. So you help them, with that,
and
growth across markets.
The growth and also the objectives and the things that we had to deliver started changing. Obviously, it's like, this is like going up a ladder. Step 1, step 2, and then when you go up, things are starting to get more interesting. So that, and it's and in the end, it's like you see the final product, you see the baby. Like there's something there is something at the end. It's not something that is completely theoretical.
Right. Yeah. No, that is always much more rewarding when it's something more tangible. This case, on the shelf, or opening in a new market or something along those lines, right? So things don't always go so smoothly, though, right? You hit a lot of bumps in the road, and like you just said, the project extended because different things came up in your research and whatnot. So what are some of the common bumps that you see when you're working with a new product launch?
You get to see the real life. It's something that is absolutely related to what we're talking with a computer and doing PowerPoints. In this project, part of the things was getting some kind of a cooler in the market, and we're in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know, there was a cat who would like to sleep right beside the cooler, and it was full of his fur.
Oh.
And that is something that you don't expect to happen.
Yeah.
But it can happen. So we started seeing things parameters that didn't made a lot of sense, and we said, what's going on? And then we discovered there was a cat. Or we discovered that the road was a dirt road, and we didn't account it for that, and it was a season where there was a lot of rain or there was no rain. So real life gets in the way.
Yeah. The cat was probably not in any of your contingency plans, right?
No. We didn't expect any cat. No rats, no dogs, no anything.
Yeah. And do you think sustainability is something that, smaller emerging brands should be thinking of from the beginning, or is that really a big brand challenge? Because even though they may not have all the resources in place, they probably can find the resources to hire somebody like you to execute them, versus a smaller brand that is, bootstrapping their whole operation.
In smaller brands, especially when you're talking like more on the food and beverage side, if you're talking about natural products, part of their proposition has to do with sustainability, for sure, or with good ingredients, with something that's good for the earth, especially with packaging, for example. Packaging is kind of it's like those things that have changed along the time. Like on the beverage side, I remember old stories about the cans, the aluminum cans. They were not good for, like, they were not easy to differentiate because they all had the same sizes, and everything looked the same. It was just a matter of the label. So big brands didn't like it. But afterwards, we found that PET is bad for the earth and bad for the environment, but the cans are good. So that changed the whole thing. So working on that, on the packaging, gives a signal of what you're looking for.
Yeah. What you care about, goes beyond just the moving product.
Yeah, and that is something that's done from scratch, or getting into good ingredients, or getting into clean labels, and that is something of the core proposition of a small brand, of a startup. They start from there, and it's good because you have a ton of offerings that are good for for the people and for the environment. And that's something that I usually like.
Yeah, it's just good business.
Yeah, one of the things that we worked, it's a project that has been, it's kind of the final phase. It was working with a pulp bottle. It's a paper bottle.
Okay.
It's a completely recyclable paper bottle. It's Pilot Lite. What we did is we co-invested with one of the big companies in that space, and then it's called Diageo, the big company, and we co-invested in a joint venture that's called Pulpex. Pulpex, we put together a consortium. We co-invested in a facility to have the first bottles, and then we're expanding on that. And we have a consortium of like big companies behind it, and it's a very interesting effort. And like I said, it's not the typical. We're not the typical consulting.
Yeah. So let's kind of go into just a couple of your, your insights from being in the industry now. So when you're looking at a brand, we talked a little bit about sustainability and how important that is already, but what do you think separates, a brand that succeeds in the market versus ones that don't?
For me, it's a lot about perseverance, having the resources, having the focus. I'm going to talk more longer on the big corporation side. It's very like I don't know, 2024. You needed to launch XYZ, so you launch them. You go to next year, and this year, it's not going to be about XYZ because XYZ they did it to a PowerPoint, and you need something else. And maybe what makes more business sense is to continue with those launches, continue focusing on that, continue investing in that, because it's not a 1 year thing.
Okay, so my final question for you today, for anybody who's listening, whether they're trying to scale a food or beverage brand, you've shared so many great insights today. But what do you think has been your recipe to revenue? What's one piece of advice that you would give those listening?
I think it's about agreement and leadership, and let me expand on that. Agreement is agreement of what is the opportunity or what is the problem. The easier way to put it is the problem is revenues are down or market share is down. That is a fact. That is not the source of the problem. There can be a ton of different things that have happened, and there are a ton of different things that you can work on to solve that. If your team does not agree on what is the real source of, or what is the lever that you need to push, you're going to get in trouble because one is going to go that way and the other one is going to that way, and they all think they're good. They're doing their good thing, and right. That is not going to work. But if you kind of sit down with people and say, well, okay, what's a problem? What's a problem cause? What's the opportunity? Going into the opportunity, one of the things that I found out is, this market is growing and it's very big. So what? Yeah, it's growing, it's very big, but our product is not good. Our product is not addressing anything that is related to this. We're not in the right distribution channels. We don't understand the consumer. So that is just, okay, it's a fact. Yeah, the market is big. But do I have the right to win, the right to succeed, and how we're going to do it is a different thing. And you need to elaborate on that, because if there's only this, the market is big and nothing, there's no plan, there's no understanding, people are going everywhere and everybody's going to think that they're doing the right thing. So getting into a deep understanding of what are the levers that you need to push is going to give you a plan that you can execute, and people are going to feel comfortable and they're going to buy into it.
Yeah.
And that's the second piece, the leadership. You need to find somebody that can execute that.
Yeah. And is that where you see sometimes, without that leadership piece, maybe they're just trying to, these people that are trying to lead it are just trying to do too much. They can't make it all happen with the momentum that they need, at the pace that they need to, with the focus that they need to, because they're getting pulled in too many different directions. But if you have the leader overseeing the plan, then you can delegate the components. So back to focus again.
Yeah, no, I have an example of that. I cannot tell you all the details, but I was dealing with a brand. I just started with a new brand, and this was a regional role. This was in Brazil, and we had this brand that had been decreasing volume and share like every year. It was constant. Every year we were going down, and there were a ton of different people in the middle that they had their own point of view, and they were pretty senior people, because this was a brand that didn't belong to a mother company. It was a joint venture, so it had a complex political situation, let's say. And what happened is that everybody had jumped to conclusions, and everybody had their different plan. One plan was invest X million dollars in new products, new categories, getting into new categories, getting into new flavors. The other one was saying, I'll do nothing. The other one saying, cancel it. So there was no agreement on anything. And the first thing I did is, okay, I got there, talked with the people in the market, I got an understanding of what was going on. And I said, okay, well, this is the picture of what's going on. Because of this, this, and this. Do you agree? Yes, we agree. Okay, so what we need to do is the following. And the following was something that people understood, they relate to it, and we could execute it. And it worked.
Yeah.
It was like getting a stop. Yeah. We started getting like this focus on the sales force. We were a small brand, but we were the biggest growth brand in the whole portfolio for 3 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
We were growing. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So, again, like sometimes people are just like too close to the problem, right? Like, and they could have their own, like you said, political, desires to go one way or the other, but you're able to come in sort of that neutral party and just look at the data and put together that clear next steps. Yeah. Oh, well, Daniel, thank you so much for all the insights that you've shared today and pulling back the curtain on how Pilot Lite is working and, turning concepts into real market-ready ventures. I really appreciate everything that you've shared, and I know our listeners will as well. So for anybody who wants to follow your work or learn more about Pilot Lite, where should they go?
PilotLite.com.
And finding you on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is Daniel G. Lauri. I put the G because I'm the only one with the G in the middle.
Yeah, perfect. Daniel G. Lauri. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.
Okay, thank you very much, Leah. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.